Hello, this is Pastor James Hargrave with Greatest Love Ministries. Today we're going to talk a little bit about the Dome of the Rock and the American Embassy in Jerusalem. Daniel 11, if you get to the end of Daniel 11 is talking about the kings of the north, and the kings of the north are the American presidents in the last few decades, starting about with Carter. And it says in verse 45, and he shall plant the tabernacles of his palace between the seas and the glorious holy mountain. Yet he shall come to his end, and no one shall help him. What is it talking about here? He'll plant the tabernacles of his palace. Sounds like some sort of government building. Palace sounds like an official type government building. The tabernacles, maybe a foreign building, some sort of building of the government between the seas. So if we look at the map here of Jerusalem, this star up here is the Dome of the Rock. This was prophesied to come about 1290 years. It's on the Temple Mount, 1290 years after the cessation of the sacrifice, the end of the continuous sacrifice. And the embassy was put in here, U.S. Embassy moved by Donald Trump May 14th, 2018. You can see they're very close to each other. They're within 1 hour's walking. You can walk between the two in an hour. They're very close to each other. And if we scroll out, you'll see they're between the two seas, one being the Dead Sea to the east, and the other being the Red Sea, the Mediterranean Sea. The Mediterranean Sea to the west. The two seas. And then these two buildings are between them. They're both abominations. Dome of Rock being idolatry to the honor of Allah, a false god. And the other building, the U.S. Embassy here, being used by Barrack Obama for the destruction of Israel and Jerusalem. Whether he intends it to be that way, I don't know, but Scripture does tell us he does invade Israel and Jerusalem, and that's when Jesus comes back. So this Daniel chapter 11, he comes to his end and no one shall help him. These kings of the north are American presidents, so I want to get hung up too much on which king it's talking about. Is it talking about Barack Obama here or Donald Trump? Since Donald Trump moved the embassy. But it was an act of Congress that recognized the embassy or put out the order to move it to Jerusalem. And this is what I'm talking about, because then in Daniel chapter 12, it's at the end of this 2,625 days or years that the abomination of desolation is set up. So Mark, the 1,290 years was marking the Dome of the Rock being set up. Islam, that was right around the time of its founding, and it would take 1,335 years for this to be abomination against the people of Israel, the Jews in Israel. And this is what's coming against Israel, the Islamic horde under Barack Obama, with Western nations with him. Russia probably, Persia probably, NATO probably with him. So we're very close. If we look here, Daniel chapter 9, marks these apart because these are specific important events that happen. It's one big prophecy. Daniel chapter 9, we go down here to let's see, 70 weeks are determined, verse 24, upon thy people and upon thy holy city. 70 weeks, so it sets apart 70 weeks. Then it sets apart 7 weeks and 62 weeks. And these can be all put together in different combinations to point out all different parts of the same related prophecy. I already talked about the 7 weeks. Go with the 70 weeks and make 77 weeks or 77 years before Christ returns. On the 62 weeks, go with the 7 weeks to mark when the Antichrist, Barrack Obama, takes a break, so to speak, is out of office, is cut off, but not for himself. He's not dead. He's just cut off for a period of time. And then if you just take this flat 70 weeks from the foundation of Israel, you get the same date as you do in Daniel chapter 12, 2018, 2019, with the setup of the American embassy in Jerusalem. So we're very close. Says in Daniel 9 here, let's look at one thing here. And in the midst of the week he shall cause the sacrifice and praise to cease. Instead of this being translated for the overspreading of abomination, it really is, and at the end and at the edge, at the extremity, abominations and desolation. So it's pointing to the end of this prophecy, which is up in 2025. The middle of the week here is probably February 21st, 2022. Midst of the week. It's kind of simple once it starts falling together for you. Now, I don't know how soon till Barack Obama makes his move. Oh, the other thing is, even though he's one of the kings of the North, and he did a video about this too, about him being kind of serving a third term behind the scenes. I think that is, in reality, what is going on. The Antichrist is reigning, and that's Obama since 2009. And it's a perpetual reign. It's just he's behind the scenes right now, but he will be revealed before Christ comes back. That's 2 Thessalonians chapter 2. So it might not be this year yet that he reveals himself. It might be next year. That 2 Thessalonians chapter 2 seems to suggest that it might be after Trump is imprisoned, if indeed he is imprisoned. And then Obama will be revealed. So that would be most likely spring of next year, if not summer of next year. But Magog needs to be together for 15 months before Jesus comes back. That's Daniel 7. I'll just show you that here real quick. Let's go to it. It's talking about this beast, or they're different beasts in Daniel 7. It's one beast in Revelation. And the little horn. As concerning the rest of the beasts, so this would be Russia, Persia, and probably NATO. They had their dominion taken away, yet their lives were prolonged for a season and a time. A season is just a season of time, like fall, winter, spring, summer, 3 months approximately, and a time, 1 year. So this is about 15 months. So this would be summer, because we know the end. We know the end's in August, September 2025. So in summer 2024, this dominion taken away but yet allowed to live will have to be in place by summer 2024, which means we have till 2024 for Obama to make his move and be revealed. How much time does he need to do what he needs to do? I don't know. I don't know how much time this will take. So we'll just have to wait and see. Thank you.